what it do, Capricorn? How y'all doing, man? It's time to go ahead and knock out your December extended reading, December 2024. So basically, I'm just hitting the last few situations that didn't make it into any of the other December readings. All right. So for those of you who need a personal reading, all you got to do is look right down there in the description of this video. And that's where you're going to find everything you need to know as far as how to go about doing that. Let me get some good vibes in the air if my lighter wants to work. There we go. Get good vibes in the air and burn it like you just don't care. Ooh, I got a new sage stick today. I forgot about that. I'm probably going to be needing that here in a minute, ain't I? All right, Capricorn. I'm going to start this off with general messages. General, career, finance, friends, family, anything but romance. What general messages do we have for the Capricorn clan? What general messages do we have for Capricorn? Okay. Some of y'all fell out with somebody in the past. Okay. I'm not really getting a really heavy family vibe from this, but whoever the first person is that comes to your mind when I say that, feels to me like for the majority of you is probably a friend. Somebody you fell out with in the past. Now, this is what's kind of weird. Because it does kind of seem like this person has tried to get your attention a couple of times. If you're wondering whether or not they want to come back and try to make amends, this is kind of complicated. So they realize the error of their ways, but they can't sit with that. So when somebody refuses to sit with guilt, what do they normally do to justify and cope with the feeling of guilt? They flip it around and transmute it and turn it into anger, right? So it feels like this person's kind of holding a grudge, maybe even inventing a reason to be angry at you that doesn't exist. Honestly, though, with the Judgment and the Death card here, this doesn't feel like somebody you weren't supposed to part ways with, even if it was family. And now I am getting a little bit of family here. Some of you done fell out with your mom. Doesn't matter who it is, though. Doesn't matter if it's your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. You parted ways with this person because it was time to part ways. It was time to. I think your all's connection successfully served its purpose. But that's all this is really telling me here. They've tried to get your attention a few times, but they ain't really trying to come forward and make amends. They be watching you, though. Ooh, they be watching you real close. Because they want to see you fail. Let's get some general advice for Capricorn. What general advice do we have? Well, I mean, with a situation like this, not a whole lot you can do. When you fell out with somebody because your contract was complete, really not a whole lot you can do. The only thing you can really do is work on releasing it. There's not really a lot you can do here, honestly. Because here's what happens. And to be honest with you, I've seen this more in the year 2024 than I have in my whole career. I see this all the time. Two people, romance, friends, family, whoever, it could be anybody, come together with like a karmic contract, for example, or any kind of soul contract. Complete the original contract, and in the process of doing that, create an unnecessary karmic tie. And that's kind of what's happened between you and this person. That's how sticky the karmic wheel is. The karmic wheel on planet Earth reminds me of a fucking sticky glue trap, you know? You know, the glue traps they trap mice with and shit? It's kind of what the karmic wheel reminds me of. You know, you get 1 foot out and you take a step, you're stuck back in it. Get 1 foot out, take a step, you're stuck back in it. And it's just a mess. At some point, I'm not going to say when, it don't matter when. But at some point, I think it'd be a good idea for you to shoot this person a closure message. Now, just do it whenever it feels right. If you can go deep down inside and feel that you haven't fully released this yet, you might want to shoot this person a closure message. If it's something that happened recently, you might want to wait a while. If it's something that happened a while back, you might maybe consider thinking about doing that before we close this year out. Carve out a new energetic pathway for 2025. All right, now we're moving on to the love portion of the video. Now we're going to take a look and see what's going on with the current long-term relationship. If you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship and y'all aren't having problems, this is not for you. What is happening between Capricorn and the current long-term partner? Uh-oh, y'all are repeating a karmic cycle. Repeating a karmic cycle, man. Looping around, loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop. 10 of Wands. Nothing is improving. Every time y'all circle around and repeat the cycle, the pressure gets a little bit heavier and a little bit heavier. Now it's just to the point where, see, 10 of Wands upright, 10 of Cups reversed. There's almost zero happiness left in this connection. I don't see no happiness. I don't see no love. I don't see, all I see here is a burden. That's all I see here. And this comes through, I swear to God, I think I've said this for every current person reading so far. A suspected third party. Every time I read the current person, the Three of Cups comes out. Every time. Every time. So, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told every other sign that came out for. Either a suspected third party, or maybe for some of you, there definitely was some infidelity in the past. Regardless, whether it's right, wrong, fair, unfair, justified, or unjustified, there's some serious trust issues here. I knew I was going to end up needing this. Oops, that's the wrong end. Energy's getting a little bit heavy. Nothing brings a thicker energetic cloud into my home studio than reading a current long-term relationship. That's the fucking heaviest energy of anything that I read. All right. Let's see how the current long-term partner feels about Capricorn. What are their true thoughts, feelings, and opinions, hopes, dreams, and expectations? Bloopity blue. Boom. They don't trust you. There's that Three of Cups right there. They don't trust you. Now, hang on. Let me see what else comes through. Hold up. World card. They don't trust you for some reason. Now, I'm going to have to ask you, why? Why not? If you ain't never done nothing to betray their trust, never, ever, fuck them. That's their problem. That's their problem. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your sign is. I don't care why you're watching this video. You are not required to bend over backwards and prove your loyalty to somebody who don't trust you when you know you ain't done nothing wrong. You ain't done nothing wrong. Nothing. But you know what the funny thing about this is? They don't trust you, but they don't want this to come to an end either. What kind of toxic shit show of a relationship are you in when you're with somebody you don't trust, but you don't want to leave them? Oh, I might not even have the energy to do the Aquarius reading after this. Oh, this is taking a lot out of me. Now, for some of you, you know what I think it is? I think they're projecting their own shit onto you. I think the reality of the matter is you can't fully trust them. And they're projecting. They're projecting their problems onto you. But they don't want to give up on this at the same time. Okay, what's the advice for this situation? What's the advice? Whoa. Queen of Wands. Another one fell on the floor. Hold up. Queen of Swords. 2 queens. Let me tell you a little something about the queens. They don't fuck around. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. They put their goddamn foot down. Now, I feel like the majority, I'm sure not all, but the majority of the Capricorns watching this video have never done anything to betray this person's trust. If you have, now that's between you and the universe, boo-boo. But I think 75 to 80% of the Capricorns watching this didn't do shit. Ain't never given this person a reason to not trust you. In which case, nah, fuck you then. No, I don't have to prove nothing to you. I ain't got to prove nothing to you. You have no reason not to trust me. That's your problem. If I know, and the universe knows, that's the only person that needs to know, is the universe. As long as the universe knows, I ain't done nothing. Even behind your back when I could. I've even turned down opportunities to betray your trust when I could have easily gotten away with it scot-free. Behind your back. Without you even knowing about it. And you don't trust me? Fuck you. You can kiss my ass. I ain't got to prove shit to you. No. I would even go as far as to say that sticking around a person like that for too long eventually crosses the line into disrespecting yourself. So, at some point in time, you need to put your foot down. Just do it whenever it feels right. But how long are you willing to deal with somebody not trusting you? How long are you willing to deal with that? At what point, when I'm walking the line, I'm walking a straight and narrow line, how long should it take for a person to acknowledge that? How long? That's an open-ended question. I'm asking you, how long do you think? How long do you think you should have to continue walking the line before the person realizes that you're trustworthy? How long should that take? I'm not going to tell you how long it should take. I'm just going to give you something to think about, come up with an answer. I'm not going to tell you what the right answer is. A month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, whatever feels right to you. But need to put your foot down. All right. Okie dokie. Now we're moving on to the new person. Let's see what's happening between Capricorn and the new person they just recently connected with. What is happening, man, with Capricorn and the new person? Okay, off to a slow start, but a decent start. Let's see. Oh, you catching feelings for this person? Oh, shit. Straight out the gate. It's looking like some random, unexpected drama is popping off between the two of you. And it's about to end just as quickly as it started. Some of you might be dealing with somebody that's not even mature enough for you. I don't even think this person's mature enough for you, because it looks totally unnecessary. It looks complete. I'm not seeing so far any reason. Yeah, justice reversed. It's completely unnecessary. There is no reason in the world why any random fucking drama needs to be popping off between you and this person at all. At all. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio. I also have Leo and Libra here. Let me look at this person's energy, man. This is draining the shit out of me. If any Aquarians are watching, wondering if I'm going to get to the Aquarius reading tonight, I ain't going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to hit it first thing tomorrow. What's this person's true feelings, energies, and intentions? New person Capricorn just recently connected with. They're codependent. Okay. They're codependent. See? When you're dealing with a codependent, nothing you do will ever be good enough. Ever. And again, this person is incredibly immature. A very immature, there it is again. An immature, codependent, nothing you do will ever be good enough, ever. And I don't have time to unpack all this in this video, but long story short, the way the average codependent mind works is they believe that it's your responsibility to fill the void in their heart. It's your responsibility to make them happy. Long story short, it gets a lot more nuanced and convoluted than that. But in a nutshell, they believe it's your responsibility to fill the void in their heart from the outside in. And you can't. Okay? You cannot. Thank you, Celeste23 and Stephanie for the super chats. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. So, but for some reason, well, I know the reason. I just don't have time to unpack it all. They believe that somehow, some way, you're supposed to magically fix the void in their heart. Make them feel better about themselves. Make them feel the way they want to feel. Make them happy. Fix their insecurities, right? And you can't. Not you shouldn't. Not you won't. You can't. Try as you may. You cannot create happiness for another human being. You can't. The codependent is so convinced that their happiness is somebody else's responsibility that you're going to get blamed for everything that goes wrong. Everything that goes wrong is going to be your fault. And their feelings now become your responsibility. So if they're upset, it's your fault. It's your fault that they're upset, and it's your job to fix it. There's no winning. There is no winning. There's no winning. It's going to crash and burn. Oh, let's get the advice. Let's get the advice. What is the advice for Capricorn with the new person? Try to minimize the drama as much as you can. I know that you only have so much control over that, but when you start to feel it being pushed in that direction, if you have to, and this is a last resort. If you have to, if you feel that it's about to start ramping up and turning ugly like that, just ghost them. If they start getting nasty with you, shitty with you, starting an argument with you, you know, and you already see, because that happens in a lot of these new relationships. I was in a relationship like that a couple of times, where, you know, in the very, very beginning, in the first couple weeks to a month, it seems like everything is great. And then overnight, the person's mask falls off and they turn into a totally different person overnight, right? It's like they get possessed by a demon overnight or something like that. Once you see those true colors starting to bubble up to the surface, you ain't going to be able to fix it. You ain't going to be able to fix it. Don't get too attached to the picture that you're painting in your mind of who you think they are. Because eventually, what happens is we start painting a picture in our mind of who we think someone is. And then we start growing attached to that picture. Then, if you start being handed evidence that proves that the picture you painted in your mind is not who this person is, then that's when the ego starts struggling, because the ego doesn't like to be wrong. The ego doesn't want to have to go back and rethink everything, right? Because, you know, if the ego ends up having to go back and rethink this thing, then it has to go back and rethink everything. And the more things the ego has to go back and rethink, then your whole identity is just going to fall apart. And the ego doesn't like that. It scares the shit out of the ego. So the ego will start to try to fight to control the outside world and mold it into what fits the inside world that it's painting in its mind. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. When a person shows you their true colors, believe it and accept it. Okay? Fucking hey. All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Capricorn family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget to check the description of the video if you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I wish you love, luck, light, and prosperity on your journey. Stay blessed.